Good morning, everybody. Uneducated economist. So, came across this article the other day. Jobless claims climbed a 4.5-month high of 224,000. And I was a little shocked to see that, or not really shocked, but more surprised to see it, because everybody's talking about how great the jobs market is right now. And so here's a graph, and you can see all summer long, it's been ticking down. Unemployment's been ticking down, it's ticking down. And then a couple of months ago, it started ticking up. And this is the 4.5-month high that they're talking about going back to July. Right? Not that big of a deal when you consider, going back to 2010. But this is what I did find. Unemployment, right? The official unemployment stands at 6 million people. The actual unemployment is 11.9 million people. So when they say this is the best unemployment number since the 60s, how did they calculate it back in the 60s compared to how they're calculating it today? Because something tells me that they're manipulating those numbers to make them look better than they are. So what I did is I went into usdebtclock.org. You guys familiar with usdebtclock.org? Let me know if that's not a good site to go to. But I pull a lot of numbers from there. I like it because all the numbers are right there in one shot, so you can compare numbers. You don't have to bounce from website to website or get conflicting information. It's all right there. And then you can also kind of go back in time too, so you can see what the numbers were, say, last year or back in 2000. And that's what I did. So the workforce, right? I went and took a look at the workforce for 2018. So as of right now, there's 156.7 million people in the workforce. In 2000, 18 years ago, there was 157.6 million people in the workforce. So there was almost a million more people working in 2000, or in the workforce back in 2000, than there is today. So what's even more telling is the people not in the workforce. Now, not in the workforce, these are all the people who are, say, retired, students, women, or women who are taking care of their kids, and then say maybe a family member who's taking care of other family members. People who could work but don't, they're not in the workforce. Now, if you're unemployed but you're actively looking for work, you're part of the workforce. Okay. Not in the workforce are people who could be working but actively are not trying to, right? And that's where they get the not in the workforce. So yeah, back in 2000, there was 80 million people not in the workforce. Today, not in the workforce is 95.9, almost 96 million people. So there's 15 million more people not in the workforce today than there was 18 years ago. And to kind of find some other numbers that I thought were quite telling in there was the median income, right? The median income right now is at $32,437. In 2000, it was $31,682. That's almost $1,000. That's less than $1,000 difference, right? So, here it is 18 years later, and the median income is raised less than $1,000. But a new home went from $168,000 back in 2000 to $330,000 today, right? That's almost doubled. And then manufacturing jobs. In 2000, there was 17.1 million manufacturing jobs. Today, there's 12.8. So there's about 4 million manufacturing jobs that are no longer existing in this country. And that might say a lot about how come that median income price is so, has only increased less than $1,000. And then on top of that all, total personal debt, right? Total personal debt. This is your mortgage, your car, your student loan, your credit cards. This is your personal debt. In 2000, it was $8.3 trillion. Today, it's at $19.3 trillion. That's more than doubled in 18 years. So, yeah, here your median income has increased less than $1,000. The new home has doubled in price, and the total personal debt is more than doubled. Yeah. And then not to mention, there was 283 million people in the United States in 2000. Today, there's 329 million people. So there's almost 50 million more people now in the United States than there was 18 years ago. There's 15 million more people who are not in the workforce than there was 18 years ago. And there's 1 million less people in the workforce than 18 years ago. So yeah, those job numbers, I don't think they're as good as everybody thinks they are. Just saying. Uneducated economist. Talk to you guys later. Oh, but before I let you go, right? One of the things I thought of, it was just yeah, even though there's less people in the workforce right now, even though there's about 1 million people less people in the workforce than compared to 18 years ago, you could use the argument and say, yeah, the workforce has diminished by 1 million, but the unemployed portion of that has also diminished quite a bit. So the actual amount of people who are working in the workforce has increased, right? Because the unemployment is so low. But that's not true, because in 2000, when we had 1 million more people in the workforce, unemployment was at 4%. Well, today it stands at 3.9. So it's almost the same. There was almost the same unemployment in 2000. Not quite. It's a little bit better on unemployment right now than it was in 2000, but just barely. And we had 1 million more people in the workforce back then. So no, that's not accurate to say that, because the unemployment has dropped so much that more of the workforce is working. That's inaccurate. In 2000, the workforce was 1 million more people, and the unemployment was at 4%. Not that far off from 3.9. I just thought I'd throw that little bit in there. All right. Thank you guys very much. Talk to you later.